Without further ado, I would like to welcome a video message from Joschka Fischer.
Hello everybody, welcome to Berlin, to the GreenTech Festival. In a very specific year, the year 2020, will be remembered as the year where the coronavirus hit the world. A very small virus was able to bring the world economy to collapse. And the consequences will be very severe and long-lasting. So if you look to the year 2020, I hope that it's not only a disaster, but it's an opportunity for all of us, for the world, a wake-up opportunity that the coronavirus have woken us up to understand that our responsibility is to create a world where the environment is based on a sustainable form of society and not on a destructive form. Well, from my point of view, the virus crisis has brought up very important insights. If you look to the question of mobility, on the one hand, human society without mobility is unthinkable. On the other side, we see that the mobility we created, we as mankind, globally, is not very sustainable. And we are facing the collapse of air transport. We are facing also the collapse of our transport systems in big cities. And we have to recover. But to recover means not to rebuild in a way what we had, but it means to rebuild in a very intelligent and clever way, to remember the insights we have made. And I think coronavirus crisis is a huge opportunity for breakthrough to a sustainable economy and society. We should use that. Mobility is a key factor of our societies. Modern society depends on mobility, but it must be organized in a different way. It needs techniques which are much more clever and much more sustainable than the techniques we have used in the past and even today. I mentioned air traffic before. This is a huge challenge. We have to address what to do with the air traffic of the future. How can we transform air traffic in a more sustainable direction? This needs a lot of innovation, and it creates a lot of opportunities. But I'm 100% sure that going back to the old days before 2020 is not a solution. It would be a permanent disaster, and we would lose a unique opportunity for innovation, disruption, and for new technologies, for making the world a better place. The same question is raised by how we produce our food. This will be another extremely important issue for the future, how we organize that. How many million pigs and how many millions of cattle do we want to have? It's obviously not sustainable if we follow the old paths of yesterday in our food production. This needs new solutions, new ideas, and I'm also very sure that it will create new markets, new opportunities in the future. I think this is another extremely important element. And a third key question is how can we improve sustainability of the oceans. What are we doing with the plastics in the environment? We have to transform our economies and societies into closed circuits. Otherwise, we will end up in the waste we will produce. And in ending up in the waste we produce, we will destroy the environment, at the beginning the oceans. So we have a lot of challenges we have to address. And the answer is whether we will continue the old paths or whether we will destroy, by continuing the old paths, our environment and destroy our future, or whether we will make a turnaround. I think COVID-19 has also given us a lecture. Our high-tech societies, citizens in our high-tech societies thought, from the leaders to the average citizen, we all thought that we have our environment under control. And we had to learn the hard lesson that we don't control the viruses. And the coronavirus is not the last virus threat we are facing. So health, public health, global health is another big issue which has to be incorporated together with the environmental issues. And energy production will be the key question. How can we transform our energy production based on carbon into a non-carbon or low-carbon energy system? This is the key question. And allow me to be very blunt. Looking to the facts and figures, I'm pretty pessimistic that we will miss the standards we all have agreed in Paris. So we are facing, with the change of the global climate, the biggest threat, and there will be no vaccine against climate change. If the tipping point is reached, then it's too late. We will pay an extremely high price and a hard price for that. So I think for all and everybody, it's very important to understand that for the global environment, we have to transform our energy system in the direction of a non-carbon energy system. A long road, it's a hard road, a tough road to go. And it's not only done by the rich countries in the first world. We will also need the emerging nations. We will need the poorer part of the globe, and we will need a solidarity with the poorer part, a shift of wealth is needed. Otherwise, the big populations in the global south will not be part of this transformation. And if they are not part of the transformation, then I think the transformation won't be successful. So we have tremendous challenges to face. And this is, on the one hand, a huge, huge challenge. On the other hand, it's also a huge opportunity and a huge also business opportunity. What we need is environmental and social solidarity between North and South as part of this global transformation and as part of green techniques of the future. So let me sum up. I think we should use the COVID crisis, which is a very severe one. I can't remember with my 72 years a similar crisis during my lifespan. So it's really severe. And we should use this severe crisis as an opportunity to move ahead, to be innovative and creative in the direction of green answers. I think this is our responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish you all success. I wish you a good meeting, a good conference, and with extremely valuable outcomes. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you so much for your optimism, Mr. Fischer. However, I think Brussels and Berlin are really temples of bureaucracy. How do you think that companies can reach politics more efficiently?
Well, if you know big multinational companies, they are temples of bureaucracy too. Bureaucracy is a reflection of a complicated social situation. That's what I learned during my active career. And as more people you have to organize, as more bureaucratic it will be usually. So smaller units are more flexible than bigger ones. To address or to get in contact with politics, it's not only the bureaucracy. Parliament is extremely important. And you have to be in a permanent contact with the Parliament, with the different members and experts in the Parliament. In a democracy, the parliamentarian level is a key decision maker. The government depends on majorities in the Parliament. So business community shouldn't underestimate the role and the importance of parliamentarians, of specific committees, leaders of these committees. But all in all, I think transparency is the key element. It makes no sense to try to use the back door in a democratic society with an independent media. Sooner or later, this will blow into your face. So be transparent and don't wait until politics is enforcing you steps forward. But be innovative, be creative, be in the lead. That's the best technologically, and there I think a good cooperation between politics and business community is possible.
And what do you aspire the collaboration with green tech to look like in the future?
Well, I think the future will be defined by a race between the threat created by the environmental crisis, climate change or whatever you mean, and the human capability to find technological answers. It will be a very tough race, and it will define also the business reality in which we will act in the future. So from that point of view, I think technology is a key question. But it's which technology? This will be the big question. What will be the social impact of a technological answer? And there are broader schemes. Digitalization, for example, it's not only one technology. In a certain perspective, it's one technology, but it has a broad spectrum of consequences. What will be the consequence of digitalization? How will we put together or keep together a society under the conditions of a digitalized reality? These will be extremely important questions, and there, in an open society, we need a democratic discussion. technological innovators on the one hand, and politicians on the other hand, public opinion is a third element. They will play all their role, and a very important role. So to forge a consensus on this in front of these new challenges will be extremely important, not only from a technological point of view for the environment, but also for our society. What will be the future of democracy in a digitalized world? This is one of the big questions which is emerging nowadays in the time of Donald Trump, and the answers will be pretty complicated.
In an interview last year, you said that human beings seek for transformation. Sometimes I feel we don't even know where to start. What do you suggest? What can we do as an individual to contribute to a greener future? And maybe also, what are you doing?
Well, it's different. At the end, it's the society, the reality of the society sets a frame. And within this frame, your everyday life is developing. And you can be more aware about a negative impact of your everyday life, or less aware. As more as you are aware, I think you will behave, you will look to reduce your carbon footprint. That's good, but it's not the only answer. You will change the way you eat, the way you buy your everyday food. You will also question the mobility which you are used to, whether you use a bike or not, whether you use a car or not, whether you use a public transport system or not. It's not only a question of the will of a person, it's also the opportunity. If there is no public transport system, or if there is no efficient public transport system, you can't use it. So I think their new answers are extremely important, and we will see a lot of innovation in the coming years. I'm pretty optimistic. When I'm looking back to the 70s, last century, when we started as Greens, we were seen as people who are pure dreamers, whatever. Nowadays, we have reached a lot compared to the challenge of climate change and the state of the seas. It's by far not enough. But if I look back, then I see a long road we have left behind us successfully, going and moving in the right direction. So I'm pretty optimistic. At the end, human beings, they need pressure, to say it directly, they need the pain or the fear of the pain that they will move. But at the end, they are also very imaginative and creative. And we can make it. But it's a huge challenge. The 21st century will be a very transformative century.
Thank you so much.